Hello everyone, my name is Asis and I'm going to give you a demo of how to build an application in Brokenatom platform from scratch. The application that I'll be building today is called Buy Me a Chai. It is inspired from the application Buy Me a Coffee, where supporters can support their content creator either by paying or just by giving them feedback or liking their content. So let's get started. So we're going to create a completely fresh application by clicking this button. But before we begin, let's just give it the name and the logo. So we double click here and then we'll be able to edit the name. We'll call it Buy Me a Chai. Then we'll upload an image and we'll add a description. So in the design section, you'll be given a menu section and the actual pages. So I'll be adding it to the menu. I'll go here, I'll go to the component, I'll search for logo, I'll click here and there. For now, let's go to modeling section. So I need two models. One model is for the user, the other model is for the content, because we are content creator after all, so we'll have to add content. So in content, there are a few things that I like to add. In every content, I would like to have a title, and I'm going to call it a text. Then I'm going to have a image, and I have an image property here that I can directly add. Then I'm going to say that I want some description of what this content is about. So I'm going to put description there and type this description here. Now I would like to have some additional images, so I'll put a list of images here. In order to do a list of images, I have to select is many here. So many images. I'll show you eventually how we're going to use this thing. For now, we'll just go ahead with creating the model. Or it's a published version. So I'll be adding published here and I'll call it Boolean. The last one that I want to add is visibility. Now, visibility is who would be able to see this post. Do you want everyone to see this post or supporters only? There is one more thing I'll be adding to the user. Let's call it category. And then again, we'll be calling it any one of, and we'll put few categories here. That should be enough. If you come here, it says app login. Choose your app login type. It is none. So basically, no one has to log in to see any content. But because we want to create content, we'll select public. Public means anyone can log in into the system, and then they'll be able to add content based on their role. So let's go to role and check. Now, role is some user have some specific permission and you can assign them role. So we have 4 roles here. I probably not want 4 of them, so I'll just go with admin, user and viewer. Then let's go to authorization, and in the authorization section, I'll be giving different permission to admin, user and viewer. So admin will be able to do everything, a viewer will only be able to see things. With that, my permission section is done. If we want to change anything later on, we can come back to this part. So we'll go to the design part. Now, the first thing we'll be doing is we'll be using the model that we have designed and we bring it into our UI. That is one of the core features of Brokenatom, where the model is the base of everything and the UI is generated for you. And then eventually we can go ahead and add our own design system and change the colors and how we want it to look. And we can modify it as many times as we want. Let's just create few pages here. And then there is a start page. So we'll call that our landing page. So let's just go landing page. So let's put some text in there just to get started, to know who is which page. So this I'm going to call, this is landing page. So let's go to create content. We will first create some item and then we'll be able to view them. So in order to do that, I'll come and select the parent here. I'll create one child here called row, and this is called column. So I don't really want them like this. I want this column, so I'll select on the column. Now if you want to align them, there are 9 different options here. They will make sense if there are more items. Now they are just centered align. Now we'll go to add section here in the model and we'll search for content. Create one. So if I click on this thing, then I'll get a form to create content. It's going to work. Let's just create some data, and to create one post here, I'm calling it I'm uploading a painting. So go here. Now I'll not be uploading any more images. I'll say that it is published, and when it comes to visibility, I'll say everyone should be able to see this thing. If I hit create, I'll say your content was created. Now we need to know whether it is really created in the database, so that is where we'll come to your content. So in the your content, again we'll do the same thing. We'll create a new element. Now just like we used create part of the model, we can also do the view part, and the view part is called get. So we can do content get many, so it is going to get a list of content that we have created. So because we have created only one, we see the first one popping up here. The first one we'll go to design system, we'll add a font. So there are two fonts I want to add in this system. There's a font called Man Rope. I'll be using this one. There's another font that I actually want to use. It is in my design. It's called Medulla 1. I'll be using that. So let's search for that also. Medulla 1, it's there. Now I'll open this design editor, and then I'll go to the font, and then I'll be selecting the main rope for all of them, and then I'll select only my logo, and for logo I'll be using Medulla 1. The title I could make it at the center and increase the font size. I probably want my image to be a little bit bigger. Now the texts are very close to each other, so probably I would want there should be a little gap between them. There is this little pinkish dot here. You can use them to give gap between any children element. So I'm going to just simply drag it, and then the gap will increase. Published. Now the published, whether it's published or not, I would want them to be side by side. So I press the R key to toggle between row and column. You can do that, row, and this become column, and then you can convert it to row. Okay, so here we are trying to create the landing page. So in the landing page we have the header section. We'll design the header section first. I want the logo and the name to be on the left hand side and the menus on the right hand side. So let's do that first, and then we'll come to the hero section, and then one by one we'll go down and finish this up. So now in order to create the menus, I'll add one more element to the menu section here, and then this will be on the left hand side, and on the right hand side I have an empty container. So in this we are going to create the menu. So I'll just open the layer panel to see what's happening. I'll add one more element inside it, and to this element we will say dashboard. So that's going to be dashboard. I'll just duplicate this, and we will call this, let's call it your content, and then we will create another one here. This one I'm going to keep some gap so that they are visible. Now I want to color them. So a few design that I have, the primary color that I have here, this is what I'll be using it for giving the color. So I can either do it here, or I can do it in the class. So let's do for each one of them. I'll do here text, and I'll put this one. So of course if I click on any of this thing, I want to go to the page for that menu. So for dashboard, that is what we are going to do. So it is done using a property here called actions. So on actions there are things that you can do on either clicking something or on some keyboard presses. So those are actions. We'll use a simple action here called go to page. Go to page, I have to choose. I just have to do dashboard, and then I'll be going to the dashboard page. So let's just quickly test it. If I click on this thing, it logs me out, and then your content. So we go to our content, add content, we come to content, and then dashboard. We come to dashboard, and then I have to go to home page by clicking on this one. Why is this not happening here? Let's put that as well. So if I click on this one, I want to go to home page. So then add action, going to go to page, and then the landing page. So now we are good. Landing page, dashboard, content, add content, and logout. So to this container, I'm going to say that I want the background to be white. There are many ways I can do it. I can just write the background white here. That is one way to do it. Then you could see that it will get white. Or I could do it another way. I could come here, and in the fill, I could just select white. That will also do. So we got our menu. The menu is there. It is working good. And then we can go to the landing page and start designing the rest of them. So we need some assets for this. As you can see, the images are there. Normally assets you can upload directly. You can go to asset section and you can upload. I have already uploaded my asset, so I can show you once more. Let me just delete this one and I can upload another one. So I do assets, and which one was it? This arrow. So if I do this, then it will be uploaded, and then I'll be able to see it below here. Okay, then we need to write this small text here: accept donations, start a membership, sell anything. And to create this, I'll just add one more item here, and again we have to put here and then paste that. Now of course we want a little gap between them, and then the last one would be add content. So I'll be doing add content here, and we want it to have the primary color. There's a plus icon. I can just write plus in the beginning, and then in order to get the primary color, and the BG color I put as I did double fit here in order to get it to the same size. The font size here is okay. I don't think everything is capital. Add content, font size, font weight. So increase the font weight and the font size. Now about the assets. For the assets to work, I'll put some padding in here. And padding, how it works is you have to put hold the shift key in order to do in one axis. If I don't hold shift key, it will happen in all direction, which is not something that I probably want. So I'll be just doing it here, and then shift key, and I'll put it there. So I'll be able to do that padding. And now I'll upload the images. Let's upload the image by going to assets, and first we'll upload this image, and then it will add the image. Now unfortunately this is not how we want it. We want the width to be, let's say, 160 pixel and height to be 160 pixel. This is good, but it's still coming here not in the right place. So this would require a absolute positioning. So in the positioning, I'll do absolute, and for this to work, I need to select this parent, and I have to give it relative. Now I'll be able to control this thing, and where do I put it? So I already have those values because it takes time to write. I'll just put that. I have this left and top value. I'll just take from there. I'll put it here. Okay, I think the size are way too big. Music editor here, and what do we have here? The cup. Let's remove all this padding, little padding here, and rest of the padding here. So this will come really nice, and I'll be able to control. So when I click on this, I should be going to the create page. I'll add another action. I'll say go to page, and then we'll say create content. I don't need any padding. Next section, so I'll remove it. So I come to the next section. The first thing that you see here is that there is a color, and this is the color that we'll be using for the background. So I'll pick this color, and this color will be using as the background. So anything that we add in here, all will go to the same background. This is my background. So I'll rename this thing to, I'll call this as hero section. I'll call this is payment section, so let's call it pay, and then I can go ahead and create things inside it. So we'll say pay your supporters, best way to say thanks. So we'll do that here. Pay, and then we'll say that. Let's escape, and I'll convert it into row, and then make the best out of your content. Right, I select the parent, I press A, I paste in there, and then the image again. I select the parent, I press A, and go to asset, and the cup. It's getting full screen. I just need to set the width and height. Keep doing it. Maybe the gap is too much. No. And then we'll put some padding here. The same thing will duplicate, and we'll get, I'm pressing D to duplicate, and I'm going to call it membership. Exactly same thing. I just need to change the text here, membership, change, say add membership. Now this text is same, so for now we'll just keep it same. We'll come and edit this whenever required. The image though, we want to change to this sun. So now I have my landing page and my dashboard, where I could put my dashboard, your content, add content, and log out. So at this point, let's just publish this application and see how it looks. So in order to publish this, you simply hit the publish icon. You need to be logged in. If you are not logged in at this time, it will ask you to log in. Once you log in, you'll be able to publish the application. When we publish the application, first the database and the APIs, the servers will be created basically, and the database and the APIs will be put there. So that takes a little bit time, and then we are building the UI, and once the UI is built, then we'll be deploying it. Once it is done, new screen, and then you'll get the application there. I'll just log in. I'll log in as myself, and just remember that we have said whenever anyone logs in, the default role type is viewer. So I'm going to be viewer in this case. So given that I'm viewer, I'll not be able to create anything. I'll only be able to view things. Okay, given that I have published my application, let's see whether I'm able to create content. Your content, I have no content here, and we'll be putting this. Remember, this is the published application. This is no longer in local. I should not be able to create this because I'm a viewer at this point. So let's just give it a try whether we are able to create this or not. I say publish is true, and let's say it is for all. So if I click on this thing, it will try to create, but it will give an error saying that creation is unsuccessful. So I need to give permission. So in order to enable that, we go to something called creator space. Now again, I am logged in here, and then I have to select the application. I have multiple versions of this. So this is the one that I'm currently working on. It says that I'm viewer. and this only you as the application creator have access to. So you can give access to anyone. So I can make someone user, and user has ability to create item. So now I'm user here. So I come to my application. I have to log out once because I'm logged in using a different role. And now if I log in, this time we'll be able to create this content. And then if we go to your content, then you'll be able to see the data. Yeah, now I'll log out and I will log in as another user. I have another user here. I'll log in as another user, and if I go here your content, I'll see that the same data exists. This is not actually my content, this is created by someone else, so I should not be able to see this thing. And then there is also delete button. I should not be able to delete someone else's content. So in order to prevent this from happening, we need to put something called a filter. So in order to do that, I'll go to my design section, I'll go to the content, your content. So we'll go here, we'll select the content, we'll add a filter. And the filter section, what we'll say is that contents created by the logged in users, so only the logged in users content. I'll publish it. Again, it's going to publish the backend, and which has not changed, and the front end which is changed, and both will be published. And once it is published, I'll be able to see the updated version in the same URL. So now if I come here, I'll see nothing because this is not my content, this is another person's content, right? So if I log out and logged in as the first user, and then I go to your content, I'll be able to see my content, then I'll be able to delete it, right? So let's do one more thing where everyone can see all the content. I want to say hi to the user and the user's login images. So there's a component for it. We'll go to component, and then we will say hi user. So we get something called hi user. At the bottom of it, we'll add the user list, and then we want to filter it by any user who is my supporters, then only I am to see them. So for now I'll just do the user list here, and let's just remove this delete button so that we are not deleting user. So I have two user here. Brokenatom is viewer and Asis is user. This is done. So if I go to dashboard, I'll be able to just start seeing who are the users here and my current name. So what we'll be doing is that actually it's pretty simple. We'll just select the list of user, and then we'll go to filter, and we will say users category, because we have created any one of. If you go back to, if you remember your model, then we have created something called category, and it says category is musician, artist or blogger. So that will be using here to filter. So if I come to a model, I'll put a filter, and the filter comes at the bottom. I need to take it up, and then this will work as a filter. So if I select, if it matches anything, then that will be applied. So now I'll be able to do this thing. Unfortunately, we have not created any users, so each individual users are not coming, but then that should be there. I no longer need to say that this is dashboard, so you can just go ahead and delete that. This should be good enough for me to start. So next we will be doing a little bit more design, and after more design we'll have to give a few things we need to rearrange. I don't like the way the create content works. I need to put it around. I want the visibility to be on the right hand side, so that is what I'll be doing. There's still one problem. This item, I want things to be placed at the top, and here I want to say who can view this content or post. Now this is a full view. Probably we don't want the full view here, we want just the image. Let's create one more page and we'll be able to list all the pages. In fact, let's just create a few more content and then it'll be good for us to see that. So let's add one more content. I have one more image here that I want to put, so I'll be putting this, and in the content it's called the Eagle of the West, and in the description we'll put this, and then again we'll say publish, and visibility this time we'll say supporters only can see this thing. I'll put the image here, right, and then the image and the title, both of them I'll wrap it inside. So title and image are coming separately. So I want the image on the left and the title on the right side, and the rest of the things actually I don't want, so I can simply delete them. Another thing I could do here is that I could put them in grid. So for that I need to select the parent. So this is my content, this is my individual content data. So I'll put this as grid. So if I do that, I'll be getting 3 at a time, so probably not that, I am 2 at a time. Now what I want is whenever I select any of these, I should go to the full view. So let's create another page for it. So we'll create, I'll say content view one item. So we got another page for viewing this one item, and then inside this we'll do the content and put the selected item. Nothing selected right now, so that is why it won't come, but I'll be able to see it once I select any one of them. So go to your content, and then we have to add one more action to this. The action is whenever I select this, I have to go to page, and which page will be going to content view 1. Then what would happen is, if I click this, I'll be able to see this page. Now we want to go back as well whenever we come there, so let's go to that page, and here we'll be adding one item, and to that item we'll say go back, and this is where we'll add one icon here. So in order to do that, we'll go to add, let's go to icon, and then we'll say left for the left arrow key, and we'll right. Now when someone clicks on the go back, this would go back to your content page. It's good enough. We'll just publish this and we'll see where it goes. So what we have been able to do till now is that we created the models, and we have two models. One is the user model and one is the content model. So we'll go and see this. Before that, just I can review user model, and then there is content model, and we used both of this model to populate our UI to different one is listing of things and other is creating of things, right? We're using both the style, both the design to create these items. So we'll see how it looks like, and then maybe we'll create some more content, and then it will make sense. So we'll go to add, and if I click on this thing, I'll be able to see, and I'll go back your content, add content. One more thing we'll do, and then maybe we'll finish with this round of thing. We need to put a filter on this so that we could see all kind of filter. One filter, let's just add in your content. We'll go add, and we'll select content, we'll go to filter, right? We'll put a filter of who can see it, and then we'll put another filter. So we'll be able to see based on which one is visible to all versus which one is visible to supporters only, right? So this will conclude the current design of the supporters and the content view. There are a few other things that like to point out that we'll be using as we go along. So let's just again go through some of the systems and some of the components that we have so that we can eventually use them. So you can see we use lots of places the modeling system. There are a few other models that we can use. Let's say, for example, the update one is there, and then for filters, we can filter it based on recently created users created today, and then contents created today. So these are filtered based on time. That is what we can use. When it comes to component, there are many components that we can use that some of them we are directly using it. So we will be using this thing as we go ahead and build the entire application. There is a layout for creating header, footer, and different section. So this is mostly for creating landing pages. And then there is like icons and image section and GIFs that you can use to put content in your application.